Good. All right.
Great.
Here we are. Welcome to Hear It with the Bear with Spirit of the Bear. Today, we have Brian McCullough with us from Cincinnati. He plays with the badass indie rock, stoner rock, badass rock band Sylmar. Those guys.
Great, Dan.
Thank you.
Dan's a real podcast host now.
I've been watching a lot of vlogs. Thank you. I'm trying.
All right, so before we started recording, we were talking about Elon's new kid.
Does anybody know how to say that name?
Let's just dive in.
I think it's just Kyle. I think.
Kyle?
Wait,
What?
really?
Yeah,
What?
like it's like XI, which is like Kai, and then AE is just like I don't know how to say it, and then the last part is like somebody said it like A-12 is like the 12th letter is L, so like putting it all
That would be
together,
awesome.
it's potentially just
It's actually just
Kyle.
It's just Kyle.
Well, I saw that his middle name is Chris.
Kyle Chris.
Kyle Chris,
probably-
the opposite of Chris Kyle.
He's probably just gonna go by that. I don't think
Yeah,
he's.
he's like Chris. Or 12. Everyone's just going to call him 12.
12.
Wait, wasn't Chris Kyle like the American Sniper dude or
Yeah, it's
whatever?
the
Oh,
American
okay.
sniper. Bradley Cooper himself.
That's right.
Yeah. At least he doesn't have a girl's name.
Before we get into a proper, I don't even know what you guys are going to ask me. To be quite frank with you, I didn't forget about this. No, I didn't. But I did forget about the microphone part, so I want to apologize for that.
Jeez.
But I just want to thank y'all for putting this together. This is a great thing for us to be able to see each other's faces. And because we were supposed to do a little tour this summer.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That was at the top of our questions list, I believe. It was just more of a discussion about how we were supposed to go on a tour that would be starting in a few weeks.
And it was going to be a fun one. It was going to be a fun one.
great one. I'm sure we'll still do it.
You wouldn't
we should
believe
still-
it was gonna be amazing.
Yeah, it was. It would have been a hell of an Ohio run.
Yeah.
Well, the next... So it was supposed to be...
It will be. It will be.
Spirit of the Bear, yeah, it'll still be, but the original, it was going to be Spirit of the Bear, Sylmar, and Harbor, who's also out of Cincy, and two of the members of Harbor are actually going to be on our next podcast, so we're trying to keep it
Let's rock and roll.
consistent.
Very
so
rock and
instead
roll.
of the tour, we're just doing 2 hours
Podcast.
of talk radio.
Well, so instead of writing music or putting out music, what you guys been doing? You guys been, cooking a lot of food. You've been trying
I've been
to work.
cooking.
What have you been doing?
Yeah.
I've been cooking a good amount of food.
Playing
Cooking,
some golf with your dad.
Eating,
Moving. That's it.
Yeah, it's
That's all
moving
it's
season.
been.
It is
cleaning.
moving season.
What have you been doing?
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
wow.
Ooh, that's nice.
Downtown Cincinnati, babies.
Beauty.
Got some nice stone on your
Is
wall.
that a
It is
Schwinn?
nice. It is nice. When you live in northern over the Rhine, you can get this for pretty cheap pricing here.
Oh,
snap.
nice. That's awesome.
We got a little fire escape with some vegetables on there. Growing a little vegetable garden out there.
Oh, that's
Oh,
sweet.
snap.
Oh, big time, dude.
What vegetables are you growing?
Most of the vegetables are lettuces, so spinach, romaine. We got some chard. We got some kale, because that stuff just grows easily and it's hardy,
Yeah.
and the birds aren't eating it too hard. But the basil's getting nipped on.
That's the best one.
Yeah, the basil's getting nipped on.
First basil, you can't beat it.
We got 3 tomato plants. They're getting nipped on. Them birds just love it.
Yo, how do you like living in OTR?
Say it again.
How do you like living up in OTR?
Well, I've spent a lot of time, 5 years ago. I guess no, it's probably sitting 5 years ago. I started coming down here a lot before really a lot of things got built. I used to go to this place called Maddie's in Cincy by the Slice. And besides Motor, downtown, that was the only place to really play music. Was this little hole in the wall called Maddie's. And it's changed quite a bit in 5 years. So now I live in like the northernmost part. It's actually closer, it's probably closer to the University of Cincinnati than it is to the river. You can just walk up the hill. Clifton Avenue is right there in Vine Street. I haven't really gotten to experience it yet, living down here, because we haven't. I moved down here and we've been shut down. But I gotta say that there's a lot of activity out right now. You know, people aren't really social distancing in my neighborhood.
No, not here.
And they're up till 4 or 5 in the morning. A lot of activity, which is great. And you know, it's a good spot to I hope there's no parents. If you want to pick up some marijuana, there's plenty of marijuana to buy around here. So it's not too bad. But
You can say whatever you want on this podcast.
Oh, good.
It's for adults. This is an adult for
adult
intellectual
content.
folks.
it gets pretty rowdy around here.
Yeah.
But otherwise, you know, I've been working. I have a day job. Work the 9 to 5. It's really slowed down.
Where are you working at?
Oh, okay.
Cold calling has gone down. So I've had a lot more free time to write music and read books and
Sweet.
touch myself, good stuff like that.
What do you guys?
Huh?
What do you guys? Yeah, Mike, you go.
No, I was gonna say. So, has the band been writing? Well, I guess. What has the band been up to during this whole time? If you guys do write, is it as a group or is it just a couple people within the group that normally write and then bring it to the rest of the people?
Yeah, you know, normally I think our writing process is pretty scattered always. You know, it's like Luke's one guitarist. He'll come up with an idea. He comes up with a lot of the ideas. There'll just be like a couple hooks, and then he'll, you know, basically voice memo it, send it to me. I'll record my vocals over GarageBand, send it back to him, and then we'll basically try to get a third person on board, bring it to practice. That's like
Nice.
everything. So usually it's one other person and me. Dan, the other guitarist, and I write certain stuff. You believe it or not, our bassist Chase he's the best guitarist in the band, and sometimes he'll write a guitar part. You know, a couple of our songs that you can always tell a Chase song. It's like the chords are weird, you know, Lydian weird shit over that. So right now it's mostly been Luke, Dan, and I. We've been doing a lot of writing, just sending each other ideas. We have this remote music folder that we've been using on GarageBand. I mean, not GarageBand, on Google Drive.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been mostly Luke coming up with ideas. He's just like rapid because he's at home. He's working from home, and his job isn't really serious. So he's been taking a lot of liberties and writing a lot of songs, and I've enjoyed it. He's been pretty happy, so that's good. So you know, when I was working, I just started working from the office again this week. But for the first month and a half, I had a microphone set up in the bathroom. So you know, I go take a pee, then knock down a couple takes real quick.
Is that
Nice.
then? I have a question then. So this was gonna, I guess, come up later, but I'm gonna bring it up now. You guys have a new single out that you just put out a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Which is great, by the way. And it kind of sounds like it's a little bit more like lo-fi than some of your other stuff. It's called Fittering, for anyone
Yeah,
that
Fittering.
is unfamiliar. But it kind of are those vocal takes, like, since you released that in the quote-unquote quarantine time, was that like something you got to go to an actual studio to do, or did that come out of those like bathroom recordings?
To be honest with you, we go to the studio. We've been going to this guy. He used to play in a band called the Pomegranates. They're actually still a band, but they were a huge Cincinnati band. His name's Isaac Carnes, and he's a music encyclopedia. He runs a joint called Marble Garden, and we go to him And the band is really good at getting good takes down pretty quick. On the other hand, I'm a wreck at the studio. So sometimes it's like it's gold, like it just comes out one time. It'd be one whole take through. Usually I record on like a 57. Isaac's really good. I try to get it with the monitors because I'm very much an active singer. And that's when I get my best takes. But I think that song I actually recorded in the bathroom, believe it or not.
Sweet. Yeah, it sounds like I just listened to it this morning in preparation.
Yeah, but I recorded those vocals probably 6 months ago.
Oh, cool. But yeah, it sounds more like spacey. It sounds like it's in a room. So I was gonna ask about that regardless. So
He also threw he also threw some After Effects, some small distortions and stuff on certain parts to make it sound strokesier, whatever you want to call it. And then there was I think the beginning of the song has like a little bit like it sounds like a very specific small room. It's like a snare chamber kind of sound. That was like a mix of just EQing and me being in a bathroom.
yeah.
But yeah.
Sweet.
So yeah, I think our goal for the next couple songs, Isaac, he's really good at production. He's really good at in doing that type of thing. But now we have enough microphones, and Chase is a pretty good mixing engineer. So we're just gonna try to start turning some of our demos into legitimate songs. That's the goal, at least. We're also poor, pretty broke, so. But yeah, so that's how the recording's been going. It's been, just whoever wants to work on it can. Luke, Dan, and I are still in Cincy. Chase is back in Columbus with y'all.
Nice.
And Ethan, our drummer, is in North Carolina. So they haven't really touched anything yet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How's that work?
It doesn't work, It's really just been Luke, Dan, and I doing some of that stuff. But now that it's getting closer to where they can, I think that they're going to come back to Cincinnati pretty soon. They're starting to look at it, and it's almost for the better that they didn't touch it, because then we were able to, I guess, post 8 different ideas up to the remote tunes folder, so that gives them 8 opportunities to try their luck on something, see if anything sticks.
Has he always lived in North Carolina, or is it just like right now?
It's just right now. He's from there. He's a CCM student. He's 21. We're all like 25.
Okay.
So because we used to have CJ in the band, and then CJ, couldn't do some touring because of health reasons, so we got Ethan. And Ethan, he's got a house here, but he thought it would just be smarter to go home, spend time, play in the woods and stuff. So
there you go.
I think that we're in a sort of a parallel position where like we've got 3 in Columbus now. Me, Mike, and Ethan are all in Columbus, and similar to what you guys were trying to do, like I just started, I'm trying to start up a studio like in downtown Columbus with my buddy Joe, who's in Ghost Soul Trio with me. But we've just been like investing in new gear, so we're getting that set up. And Ethan and Mike have been in and out, but that's kind of our new like hub for ideas. And then Dan's still in Youngstown, Jamie's in Cleveland, so we have like a very similar system of like the Google Drive folder. We've got a Pandemos folder where we've just like throw stuff in there. Yeah, we're pretty clever here. We've just been throwing stuff in there. And then, just kind of seeing what comes out of that. But it's a lot more of a mess right now than what you were describing. We just got like random shit.
Yes, so is ours. Like the one thing that can be difficult is getting good drums. So like Jamie, have you been able to, like, do you have like a good mic setup? Are you able to like actually get something that could be used, or is it one microphone sort of deal?
I actually just bought like a mic pack to record myself a little bit. They're not the greatest. They're kind of like live microphones, but they sound okay if you work with them well enough. So I've been recording for a couple friends' projects with those, but we were just talking earlier about how we want to bring back some old demo that we wrote back in July, and I have my sister's boyfriend has his house. He bought his house because it has really nice, a nice room for drums. And we've been messing around together with that lately. So I would probably record there if we end up making a couple songs.
Dude, some of the best records are made with just like a really nice room, like some abandoned house or something, or some house to move in, and just a couple of room mics.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
That's like the whole Neutral Milk Hotel.
Right,
thing.
and the Red Hot
They
Chili
did
Peppers.
That thing in their garage, and it's a legendary album.
You guys are like a tight live band, so like if there's a way to like somehow bring that into. Have you ever thought, like, do you guys ever do? Have you guys ever like been like, fuck it, let's go to Athens or something, or just somewhere in the middle of nowhere, do like 4 or 5 days in a row. You guys actually, I think you did do this.
We did, yeah.
I realized like you guys did do that.
We did it in Kentucky.
Kentucky.
We rented out we had a cabin that we rented out through Airbnb for a whole week, and literally just took the living room area and just set it up to a creative workspace where we all had our stuff where we could.
That's the best.
Yeah, we wrote the
Just
whole new
curl out.
album out there.
We wrote the whole thing.
Pretty much, yeah. It was in the Daniel Boone National Forest, so it was like beautiful. Our cabin we had like several acres of just woods around our cabin. It was super isolated. So it was pretty much just like every day we would wake up, work on music for like hours, eat, we would swim. We were like 5 minutes from a
I bet
nice
Daniel like
lake.
that. Being out in the wild with his bears and shit. Oh yeah.
It was wonderful. We got a lot of bugs, but it was good. I mean, yeah, we came into that with a lot of demos, and we made them into full songs. And now we've got the album done, but can't do much about it.
It was
Kinda
weird though
just
that
sitting
there
on
ended up being more songs that came from just like organic jamming, rather than like there were probably like 6 or 7 demos that we never ended up using.
Yeah.
You see, and that's the idea of playing out live, and that's the idea of doing that. You play out live, you make a couple, you make some money, not enough to put in your pockets, but enough to go create a spontaneous record out in the wild. And that's what we have to do as kind of bands that are sort of in our time and place right now, is to like get out of our comfort zones. But it's amazing. We did that in Athens. We call Athens sacred ground because we've had so many good shows there, and we've written some of our best songs out there. Yeah. You just get a whatever and set up microphones and something, and we went with ideas, to like write or whatever. And in that specific situation, only one of them got written, but then we had like 5 other demos. And it's funny because that was 2 years ago, and we're just getting to, so like 2 of those random demos we've written. Fittering was one of those, and Kinks is another one we play all the time that morphed into something. But then there's 3 other ideas that like I just found. You know what I mean? You just find all this hot garbage you forget about, and you drive.
That's like,
and you're like, that was it. Why didn't we not?
I think there's like 2 or 3 songs on our new record that are like that. Like me and Ethan were literally in the car on the way to our cabin in Kentucky, and I was just like flipping through old voice memos, and I literally think like 2 or 3 of those voice memos became songs on the record.
Now, were you this is sort of a sideways take on it, but you mentioned that you get your best takes because you're a very movement oriented singer.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you about your stage presence, and were there bands before Sylmar that you were in, and did you have that stage presence, or have you was Sylmar kind of your first band and then it just kind of came out of nowhere type of thing?
Before you answer, just to preface for anybody who may not be familiar with Sylmar, not only is the music incredible, but I think the first time I saw you guys, you spent most of the show on the ground, and I could not have been any more pleased about it. It was awesome.
It's like the most chaotic thing I've ever seen.
Oh, was that the...
It was in a grocery store.
Mustard seed.
Yeah,
the
it
mustard
was in
seed.
Akron.
The first time we ever saw you guys perform was inside of a grocery store in Akron.
At the Porch Rocker.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Mustard
we were all
seed.
like, holy shit, who are these guys?
Dude,
we were
we
literally
went-
drinking orange juice or some shit.
We
in
went
the corner, and
inside
we were like,
because it
Dude,
was
they,
maybe.
they threw us in like they threw us in the place where like there were no young people. I saw like 8 or 9 of my fathers looking back at me, and I was high on LSD, and it was a pretty good experience though, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, we were blown away. We were like, these guys are amazing. We need to get in contact with them.
It took us like an hour to find our stage that morning because we went to like 3 different houses and they're like, I don't know what you're doing here. Yeah.
Right. And
That was a weird event, but I liked it a lot.
It was so fun.
it was a good event. You
Yeah.
know, it's you don't expect it in somewhere
No,
like
it's-
Akron.
Very
Actually,
very
you do
interesting.
kind of expect it though, because Akron is. So our guitarist Dan is from Akron. We would have no business playing that, being from Cincinnati, if Dan Sutter didn't grow up playing guitar with one of the guys that put it on. So we got that spot because we were the only Cincinnati band. But either way, where did I get my stage presence? My mom always danced growing up. She always would just boogie around the house. Didn't give a shit. She loved to dance. So I think I got it from that, to be honest with you, because my family is not really a musical family. No offense, McCulloughs. At all. I'm the only one that has really pursued any sort of art, and I still have a day job. And that's because of my family. But the music part, I was in college. I was a sophomore. All of freshman year, I was in the dorms, and we would go on, midnight drives or whatever, because there was this amazing jazz station from 1 o'clock to 5 in the morning on WNKU, which is no longer a station, but it was the best station in the tri-state, Cincinnati. And they would play jazz from 1 to 5. And I would just be in my buddy's car, and I would drum. He had some coins here and this and that had made different songs, and I would the drum. And that was how it started. The next year we got our own house. I bought some absolute garbage groove percussion set. And I put it in the basement, and we would just get blackout drunk on weekends, and I would play those drums and just horrify people. But I learned how to play from the Jimi Hendrix blues record, if you ever listen to that record. And I would just play those songs over and over. And then I got really obsessed into the National. Still kind of am. And got
fellow
obsessed.
Cincinnati band.
Yep, into the way Brian Devendorf played the drums. So I started trying to learn a couple songs. Just, it's just like boom, boom, tap, 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 boom, boom, tap, boom, boom, tap, tap. It's every song is like that. Just like hitting. So then I found out I could sing from, believe it or not, karaoke. And once again, it's a reoccurring theme, was getting drunk. And was at karaoke, went every Tuesday and Thursday, would sing Kings of Leon, Jim Morrison, Coldplay, the National, and believe it or not, the karaoke guy, shout out to Karaoke Kev, he still does ton of karaoke all over Cincinnati. He's like, you should join a band. And because people really liked when I sang, and I acted like a fucking buffoon. And I can say that from then on, Matt Berninger from the National kind of became like the reason I did music, was because he went to all the same schools. Like I went to his grade school. I went to his high school. He went to UC. He worked a day job. He worked a day job in New York City in advertising until he was 30, and then quit to play music. So I started idolizing him and got really more into singing than drumming. So yeah. Then I basically stalked my band.
Here's the karaoke Kev.
Here's the karaoke Kev. Karaoke Kev and CCM.
Making Sylmar a reality.
Seriously, it was Kev. And then I got really lucky because a music school, one of the best music schools in the country, was at my school, and they kept their doors open. Idiots. So I would just sneak in and play piano. I taught myself how to play piano, bought a microphone set and a Scarlett audio interface, and didn't even know what the hell I was doing. Just wrote a song, did drums, everything, vocals, and and this will be the end of the story. I was at this bar called Neon's. At this time, I was going out by myself a lot, and this kid I went to school with, high school, named Joe Tontillo. He's the drummer for Stoop Kids. If you've ever heard of Stoop Kids, if you ever have a chance to go see them, they are they are my inspiration for how hard I go on stage. They were one of the first shows that I met Luke that night when I went and saw Stoop Kids, our guitarist, because Luke is best friends with Joe. They grew up together. And I knew Joe from high school. So then Joe introduced because I sent Joe my song, and he's like, Luke, believe it or not, this guy can sing. I had no clue. And Luke still White Bear Principal. You know, that's his other band. That's his his name, his singer-songwriter name or whatever. So then from then on, I went over to Luke's, smoked some weed, and we wrote I Can't Read that night. He already had the song, and I just put vocals down. And then it was another one. I think it was I Love Everything came from that as well. I Love Everything came from that night as well. That one night. And then everything from then was just serendipitous, you know?
Nice.
Random.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I have a bit of a follow-up question to the stage presence, because I was wondering if you ever find it hard to really get into it the way you do, depending on the show, because like sometimes not so much anymore, but you know, if we ever had like a difficult sound guy or a you know, rough crowd, then like it's just kind of hard to get in that headset. Do you ever experience that as well? First
of all, there's no such thing as a rough crowd. You know what I mean?
Right. Sorry, yeah.
But I'm not. You know, you're completely right. There are rough crowds.
Yeah.
But how do I bring it?
I should say smaller crowds.
Man, it started out with not knowing what to do with my hands, and it turned into I like to say I have undiagnosed ADHD. I've always been super hypertensive, but my parents didn't believe in any of that. They literally didn't believe it existed, so we didn't do medicine or any of that. So I've always been a hyper kid, and I think I've been working these 9 to 5 since I got out of college, and you know, you look forward to it. You look forward to going on the road with your buds. You look forward to getting in front of a stage, and people come to watch you literally not give a shit. And that's it. It's like, you know, Luke always says that. It's like, it's the only time, and I think him and I really understand it because we both work desk jobs, and we understand how stuffy that culture is. Mm-hmm. And when you can just get on stage and completely be yourself, it's really truly the most amazing thing. It's why I do it. It's not even the music, really. It's like the music is the reason I do it.
Right.
But it's being able to let off that steam, you know, and coming off that stage sweaty as shit. Yeah. And feeling so good, like a workout, you know.
I feel like, yeah, I definitely can relate to that, especially in the sense of like as I've gotten older, because we've had this band since we were in high school, and we would play more low-key stuff, whatever, in our hometown. But as I've gotten older, like gone through college and had to like work to pay rent and stuff, it just gets to be, the week gets to be like longer and longer. And so like my stage presence has definitely gone up, in my opinion, in the past like 2-3 years, just because I feel like it's the same thing. It's like when I do get the opportunity, especially if it's like I think the last show we all played together was Bright Winter. Mm-hmm. If it's something like that, where it's like they put you in front of like 2,000 people or whatever, I mean, that was just like,
dude, that shit's intimidating.
That was like amazing to me because I was just like in the middle of my last semester of college, stressed out, and then that was just like the most amazing.
It's funny because with shows like that, it's like, you know, we do put in a lot of work to get to that point. You know, we do get a lot. Mm-hmm. We do a lot of work to be able to get asked, or not asked, but to get chosen to play that.
Sure.
But we do nothing to play in front of that people, like that amount of people. Oh my gosh. And I'm so used to, like, in Cincinnati, we've gotten to a point where, you know, like when we do a show, we do it big. And we're probably not going to do that anymore when we get to start playing shows, we're going to start playing every month again, just to kind of build, you know, just get people familiar again. You know, people deserve it. But, you know, you work your ass off to get 500, 600 people to a show in your hometown. You blow it out, and you're like, fuck yes. You play your best show ever. and then you don't do anything and you play in front of 1,000 people, and
Yep.
it zaps you.
That's like, I feel like because I can relate also to the hometown thing because we're originally from Youngstown.
You guys go hard on that in Youngstown, yeah.
Yeah, the Youngstown crowd for us has been amazing. It's like, we started in high school playing in like church basements and coffee shops. And then when
They wouldn't let us in anywhere else.
When we started hosting our own festival, and a couple years ago, I mean, we had like over 400, nearly 500 at that one. Like that was a peak because we headlined it. It was just like the most amazing feeling. And then that all kind of led up to, we played this festival in Youngstown called Federal Frenzy, opening for Robert DeLong. And that was like,
Oh, wow.
it was crazy. It was like, 1,000 some people. It was huge for us.
I'm telling you, it's funny because I'm like, we're really lucky to be in this state. One, we have incredible location for places.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have a better location to the East Coast than we do. But in Cincinnati, we can get to Chicago and Nashville in the same amount of time. And it's like, but you guys up in that little corner up there, that nook with Akron, Youngstown, Canton, I'd say Columbus included, and then Cleveland.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
There's so many good bands up there.
Yeah, that's our
I can't believe it. Like, there's some damn good bands in Cincinnati, don't get me wrong. I could shout them out, but, like, man, that Bright Winter blew me away. Red Rose Panic?
Oh, they're great.
Oh,
Nuts.
yeah.
They're really
Do you remember that
good.
day when we were
We've
dancing to
played
that
with them
shit?
a couple of times.
Oh, my God. They were unbelievable. Obviously, Harbor brought the pain. Y'all brought the pain. There was that... Who was that band? Who was that brand, James, that we saw from Columbus? They played at, like, 2?
Was it Honey and Blue?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're going to be on this podcast.
Another
I think,
podcast episode.
a couple of
yeah,
episodes
we're
from now,
doing
so-
it. That bassist.
Yeah.
Well, I met them because I did an internship with like a music newspaper, or with a newspaper in Columbus, and I was doing the music column for a few months through my internship, and they just like assigned me to Honey and Blue because they had just put out a record. So I just like met them, and I was like, oh my God, these are the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life.
They're
And,
so good.
I just like became friends with them, and then they asked me to I co-produced a couple songs on their new upcoming record. So I've gotten really close with them. So they've been one of my favorite bands to see and just like hang out with in Columbus.
That vibe just feels so good. It's perfect day show music. Like they should play at 2:00 every single time.
Well, they mostly make their living doing that. We'll talk about them when they're on the show next week. But they mostly make their living doing music. So
That's pretty cool.
But that's impressive, man. I hope to get to that eventually. Dude, that was the last show we played. That was the last
that's the
show.
last show we played.
How
period,
lucky
yeah.
are we that we got to fucking at least play that?
Yeah.
That was
It was
Right.
a great last show to play
Yeah.
before it
Yeah.
shut down.
It was, man. Oh my God. Yeah, and it was funny because that was the first day we had just bought that van. We literally bought it the week
man.
before. We're like, yeah, we're gonna put some miles on this bad boy.
Yeah, we had a whole freaking tour planned for June.
It's all right though, I guess.
It's a bummer.
We'll do it. Might be next year or whatever, but
Yeah, no, we absolutely will.
I had
Ethan.
this
Oh,
theory.
go ahead,
I had this theory that since that everything is kind of at a standstill now, where Bonnaroo and all of these huge festivals that go on in the summer, they're just going to happen in the winter break, because it's still, it's like 30 days where they could do stuff. It's probably not going to happen, but then my thought was like 10 years down the line, all culture will shift more towards the winter months than the summer months. And I'm still working on the theory, but I figured...
Well, shit, Dan, didn't you have a festival you were putting together too?
So we do, yeah, me and some guys here in Youngstown, and a guy in Cleveland. We do it's like a hip hop rap festival. It's called the Block Party.
Yeah. Oh, the Block Party. Is there any inspiration from Dave Chappelle's Block Party? Have you ever seen that movie?
I have seen that movie. I love that
That's like
movie.
one of the greatest movies. Oh my God. I remember when I was, I might have been in 5th grade, 4th grade, and it was on the Secret Stash. Secret Stash on Comedy Central at 2:00 in the morning. They do uncut movies, and they had Dave Chappelle's Block Party, and they were just smoking blunts. I'm like, whoa, what are they smoking? And just drinking. Oh my
What
God,
is that?
what a classic!
OG.
we used to.
Wait, I don't know if I'm thinking of the same movie or not. Because he had another.
You're
wait,
thinking about
Half Baked was the
Half-Baked.
other one.
You might be thinking of Half Baked.
Yeah.
He got a bunch of Comedy Central money after he started killing it on on Chappelle's show, and then he put that together. You know, he put that whole, and it had like, it was like just deep cuts. It just had some of the best R&B artists you've ever seen. You guys should seriously watch it. It is unbelievable.
That's pretty cool.
Me and Ethan in high school, our group of friends used to have board game nights like once a week. And we would always watch either the Scooby-Doo live action, or we would watch
Snoop Dogg's
Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa's movie, which is called Mac and Devin Go to High School.
Oh yeah!
And it's all like narrated by the talking.
What's his
blonde,
name?
Slow Burn.
The
And
talking
then
blood.
the principal's called Principal Skin Flute. It's a great film.
Maybe I should turn my light on. This shit's getting a little dark.
I got a candle right next to me, so I'm getting
Ethan,
that
do you want to ask some
eerie.
of your questions?
I mean,
I
a
know
lot
you
of it
got
was
him.
covered with like the whole stage presence thing.
Oh yeah.
He's gone right now. Wait till he's
I have
back.
another one. I think that.
Hit it.
Well, speaking of movies, I just wanted to ask if what's a favorite movie or TV show that you've been watching lately during all this free time?
Sheesh. I don't watch a lot of TV. Not because I'm any against it. I'm not that guy. Okay? Watch all the fucking TV you want. TV is the best it's ever been right now.
Oh yeah.
The shows that I've watched every single season of, I've watched every Curb Your Enthusiasm. I love Larry David.
I'm in season 9 right now of Curb.
I love Larry. Another show that I watched that I never watched, and I watched it a little bit. I finished it during quarantine. Was Breaking Bad. Everyone told me to watch it.
That's
The
nice.
hype was real. The hype was real.
Oh yeah.
Movies. I actually just watched an amazing documentary called "The Salt of the Earth," and I wish I could remember the photographer's name. But everyone, write this down. I need to see you write it down. The Salt of the Earth.
I'm
It
typing
is
it.
flat out one of the greatest things I've ever seen. It was breathtaking. It was about a photographer and his life's work. And it's just like, this guy went through everything to get the photos that he did. He put everything in it.
Wow.
So that's
Where-
amazing.
Is that on Netflix or anywhere?
I think it's one of those you gotta buy. You gotta rent.
Oh, okay.
Totally worth it.
That's fine.
It's totally worth it. You can get one of the ones off of, you can pirate it or some shit, but it's not gonna be the same. Spend the money. Oh, another one. Another one.
He earned it.
I know that I know Ethan and Daniel have probably seen this. Fantastic Fungi.
Oh, I've heard of it, but I have not watched it.
Fantastic Fungi. Okay, it's not just about psilocybin. It's actually barely about.
No, it's about other mushrooms. I know
I like
that.
how you classified Ethan and Dan on
Oh,
that.
come on, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean. Yeah, come on. It's all right.
It's an adult podcast. It's an adult program. This is.
Well, we really are all adults. Like, things have been said, Things. So do not cut out anything that I've said, okay, please.
I'll keep it all.
So, also, Fantastic Fungi was one of the best. Shout out to my buddy Paul DeFore, who, he's been all over the world the past couple years, and he's, sustainable freak, and he's like, I bought this movie, it was that good. It is so good. I didn't know. That's all I'm gonna say.
It got a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, I think.
Watch it. It is.
Holy crap.
Those two documentaries, you should be set for 2021.
Fantastic.
So yeah, that's what I've been watching.
Nice.
I watch a lot of surf videos.
Are you a surfer?
Cool.
No, I love it.
That's cool.
Very
There's no water.
flowy.
I got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Dude.
I feel it though.
But I went to Hawaii right before this thing. I got like a $380 round trip ticket to Hawaii.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I know a lot of people that have just. Well, Ethan, you went on.
Yeah,
a trip.
I did. Right before everything was getting shut down, I got like a $50 round trip to Las Vegas, but we didn't go to Las Vegas. We flew into there and then immediately got a rental car and went to all the national parks around.
Oh
it.
yeah. Oh fuck yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, it was very cool.
See, you fly into Vegas and it's just like you're
Yeah. Also, it was shut down at the time too. So like we drove through Vegas at night because obviously they got to have their lights on still. So they had like everything we saw was like if it was actually going on, but with no people. So it was kind of lit.
So you weren't tempted. I mean, tempted. What the fuck am I saying?
I'm not tempted by gambling at all. I
No,
feel
no, no,
like
no, 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 no.
I don't think I would.
No,
like,
no, no,
Oh,
no.
I love it. It's the worst.
I couldn't. Losing $20 for no reason is like it hurts my brain.
But I'm-
just like
I'm the person that goes to like the higher stakes slots machines. So if I put a 20 in, I'm betting like $2 and I'm gone in like 5 minutes. But then I'm like, I guess I can take another 20 out of my 18.
Brian, have you watched? Wait, maybe you haven't, but have you seen Tim Robinson's show on Netflix? It's called "I Think You Should Leave."
No.
It's pretty
Oh my
much
God.
Spirit of the Bear's bread and butter, and I think we're gonna bring it up in every podcast episode.
highly recommend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
it's
is-
like
it's
absurdist
skit comedy.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I feel like if you like Curb, I could see the same people who like Curb liking this show.
Yeah.
It's
It's like
even-
somewhere between like Tim and Eric and like Curb SNL type humor.
Mhm.
So is it
It's,
Curb
it's,
post
it's better
Leon?
SNL skits.
It's
in,
not
in
that
general.
Kirby, but it's like the SNL format.
Because that's a
skits.
different Curb. Post Leon, pre Leon.
Oh, I would say I think I'm the only one in the band that's watched Curb.
You've only
I think-
okay. Never mind.
But I can still answer. I think that post Leon Curb is amazing, but I think that season 4, like 3, 4, 5, that's like prime Curb.
Okay.
I think Leon comes in 6. I love Leon though. He's hilarious.
Well, the show changes. The humor starts to change. Like it's still
It does.
like
It gets more silly. It's like crazy stuff.
it gets sillier, and quite frankly, I'm very white. Look at me. Look how I'm from fucking Iowa. Look how tough I am. It gets less white man Jewish Seinfeld comedy. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, is Leon JB Smoove?
JB Smoove character,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and he brings in.
He's so funny in that show.
Yeah, he's amazing. But, yeah. Well, I lost my train of thought about Las Vegas, which is fine. It was going to be a dirty.
Oh
comment.
no,
It
you're
was
good. I
unnecessary.
got my points across. I saw two wild donkeys. Like we pulled up to this really out of there like dirt road, potentially couldn't make it back out camping spot. And when we parked and set everything up, that as soon as we set up, there was 2 wild donkeys that came through the campsite area and were fighting, and they got at least like 10 yards away from me fighting, and I thought I was gonna get in between this crossfire of 2 wild
donkeys.
asses. Yeah,
It's an adult program.
I thought I was gonna have to
Wild
grab some wild ass.
You know, Dan, I feel bad, man. I feel bad for you, bud. You're stuck up there in the spaceship.
It's cold, dude.
You have no chance of seeing wild donkeys. You got no chance of. You got no chance of going to those Las Vegas titty bars. You got none. You got none.
I'm missing out up here, man.
It's a damn
I
shame.
got moon dust.
I would say
you can cut
not
that
to,
part because
not to
that's
kill the vibe. We're running low on time. We've probably got like 10 minutes left in the radar.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said it was a 2-hour thing.
Oh no,
No.
between no, he meant between Sylmar and Harbor.
So look at this.
We tried to shoot for.
Yeah, we're going for an
to 40.
hour
I haven't
episode.
even eaten this yet, fellas.
Whoa, that's beautiful.
What's that?
Eggs.
Eggs, rice.
Nice.
The last 10 minutes could just be you eating, and we're going to watch.
Eat.
Brian, do you
on-
have
way
any
to-
stuff you want to plug right now? That
Yeah,
would
well,
be
the way we
time.
wrapped up the last episode was talk about your favorite music right now and then give your plug.
Oh God. Favorite music: Guy Clark right now. Towns Van Zant. That kind of stuff. Oh my God. What am I fucking? How could I forget? My favorite record of 20. I guess it came out in 2019. No, it came out maybe even 2018. But it's my 2020 record for sure. Is Fontaine's DC Dogrel. Dogrel. It's amazingly recorded record. You can tell that they did it all live. You can tell that it might even be analog. I don't know. But they're a Dublin, so it's Fontaine's DC, Dublin City.
Okay.
They won Pitchfork's Record of the Year. even though Pitchfork can one. That's another media outlet that can kick rocks. Because they always give the national like scores of 4 out of 10.
Yeah, Pitchfork is whack.
But they also have some of the best write-ups I've read. Period. This record is unbelievable. It's post-punk, but just kind of rock and roll. Like it's not very post-punky. It's not as aggressive as like an Idols or something like that. It's not too out of there. But I think anyone can listen to it and appreciate it.
Nice.
So Fontaine's DC, that record's been killing me. I've been liking Moses Sumney's record.
Oh my god.
Gray.
Part 2 comes out May 15th. That record is
snap.
up for my favorite album of the year so far. Love Moses.
A lot of Beck. Listen to a lot of Beck. I never realized how fucking that guy he just didn't give a shit. He didn't care.
Yeah, he really doesn't.
He didn't give a shit at all.
He just
and he still does it.
everything.
Amazing.
I
Each
really
record
like,
is, totally new.
because I always heard of him just from like, because they always have those VH1 countdowns and stuff, and it was always like loser, top of 90s or whatever. But then I would always get CDs at the library because it was like still like the mid 2000s ish. And there was just a random Beck CD there. And I just went back and re-listened to it. And I was just like, compared that to like, what was this 2017 record? It's just like, and everything in between. He just does anything he wants to. But it's Beck.
Lyrically,
his dad's
it's just
a
like
famous composer.
A storm of sometimes random thoughts just thrown in. I love it.
Right. And it made me realize when I was writing, like, I went through a total slump. When we were doing Fittering and Kinks and stuff like that, I was just in a slump. You know what I mean, James? You get in these slumps. You're writing lyrics because you start to realize, like, who the fuck am I? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't have
Tell me
stories.
about it.
I've had many an existential crisis when writing lyrics.
And I hate lying to myself.
Me too.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or like feeling restricted.
Not being who you are,
feeling
like
PC.
through what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because I'll admit I have thoughts that maybe shouldn't be written down and
For sure.
sang.
I think I went through something like that when we were writing the new album. I think that there's a song on our upcoming record that probably has my maybe rawest or just like most emotionally honest lyrics, which would be, it's called The Shape. It's coming sometime.
Oh,
The
and
future.
love me some Spirit of the Bear. Also want to shout out to Ghost Soul
thanks.
Trio. Those dudes smack.
Thank you.
Those dudes smack. James, you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
And not to finish off, what were we just talking about? Other songs, other records that have been really good. I haven't really been listening.
Give a
Talking about Beck, and then I rudely interrupted.
No, you're fine, Beck. I haven't really been. What else? Some Hawaiian music here and there. If you guys, the new car seat headrest is good.
Oh, I haven't listened to that
okay.
yet.
It's good. He's the type of guy where, like, if you haven't dug into his stuff yet, there's something for everybody, and he's a genius. Like, I don't know, but I haven't even dug into half the shit he does. But I hope that we all can play together soon. I hope that we can.
Oh my god, yeah.
I hope that you guys can start, like, getting into this. I think this is an opportunity for every artist to realize the potential of technology. We all have the time. Pick up a guitar, pick up a drum set, put a microphone in front of you, and send it to your friends. It's as easy as that.
I needed to hear that.
Hell
Thank
yeah.
you.
Simple.
Hell yeah.
My dumbass is coming up with badass drum beats right now. At least I think they are.
That's all that matters. Isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm playing the
You're enjoying
drums.
it. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to play with drums.
Yeah. Or just to play anything. I will never touch a guitar. Ever.
Also, I meant to say thank you for helping me take my drums to my car after that show at Brothers Drake last year.
That's the essential. You got to do that kind of shit.
These guys
We don't help you. We hate
Jamie,
you.
I help you all the freaking time.
I'm just kidding. You do.
We also used your kit.
Oh, yeah.
So that is Band 101.
Yeah.
And, you know, Ethan, especially you with your little fucking twiggy ass keyboard, you know, you gotta help your boys out. Because, you know, like I said, I don't got shit. I got my hands. So afterwards, I gotta help the drummer out. Otherwise, I'm just a selfish douche.
I have the least amount of stuff.
I assist.
I assist.
I'm obligated to help Jamie because normally those
That's
two
true,
have
Mike.
two
Come on.
keyboards.
And Mike and I
But-
usually drive together.
Yeah.
We used
Yeah,
to.
that's true.
Not anymore, but
Yeah.
Ethan, I didn't mean it like that. I'm really,
Oh no, you good. My setup's.
Making amends.
I get it. My setup's quick.
You and all those
Yeah.
keys.
Yeah.
All 37 of them.
It takes me a solid 10 minutes to get the positioning of the tambourine right. All right, you gotta let me have that.
Well, I know we're almost done with the Zoom, but
Yeah, give your plug, and then we'll wrap up the recording.
plug. Sylmar's coming out with more new music. We got a new tune that's getting mixed. We just been getting way too many mixes of it and need to just frickin' decide. That'll be out in the next month and a half. We have a lot of music to be played live. We have a lot of music that is to be recorded very soon. We're not slowing down. Miss y'all.
Miss you too.
miss you.
Yeah,
Miss
dude.
you too.
Sylmar
Absolutely.
X Spirit of the Bear tour coming one day soon. Should be happening next month. Isn't
It'll
it?
happen. It'll happen soon. And let's all keep in touch. You know, maybe when it gets even warmer, we can all meet up somewhere and swim or something.
Please.
In a big 6-foot distance circle, if that's still going on.
I don't know.
A drum circle.
Give us your what's your preferred Sylmar song to head out the episode?
If you have Spotify.
We'll play one. We'll put one in the episode. So
Oh, okay.
Stick it right in.
We did an Audiotree, and we have the Audiotree on there. I like the song Needja. That one hasn't
Sweet.
been released yet. And that was our first recording, and we've been playing that song. That was our 4th time ever playing it to a crowd or whatever. So
amazing. If you're listening, you're about to hear Needja
Needja.
by Sylmar.
Salutations! You've been naturally selected. What the fuck? Who let you make decisions like this? Social Darwinistic narcissist. Salutations. You've been naturally selected. What the fuck? Who let you make decisions like this? Social Darwinistic narcissist. Smart head, big trust, fund, double shadow, blood clots, and drunk text. Will you take me to the radio? You've been naturally selected. Oh yes, I have. Who let you make decisions like this? Social Darwinistic narcissist. Our Anglo-back is sinking. Our imperial debt is shaking. Tiny dangers, heart is breaking. My G, that just can't make it. I really need you to fight. Stay up all night with me. I really need you to riot. Stay up all night with me. Science is seceding. Do you get USA? Dummy, dummy, dummy of my night. Dummy of my bright side. Scally, 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 starts a fight. Let's launch a ride. Common sense is resetting the building. Common sense is resetting the building. Salutations, baby. You know you've been naturally selected to win the grand prize. I really need you to sign. I really need you to sign. I really need you shut down.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of our new podcast, Hear It From the Bear. We'll be back next week, and in the meantime, you can find all of our music, videos, information, whatever you may need, on our website, spiritofthebearband.com.